Hey folks, this is Picohan from the North American server, and this is the V-170. The V-170 is presumably a torpedo boat with mediocre guns that aren't as bad as the Japanese guns. It has pretty good torpedo armament for Tier 4. There's 6 torpedoes, but the problem is, or in my opinion the problem is, that 2 of them are forward mounted, which makes them very difficult to use. I believe you're supposed to play this like a normal torpedo boat. You should play it like the Isokaze and try to stay in stealth and shoot torps at battleships, but a lot of times you have to deal with other things, and the small spread and the weak guns can be frustrating to use. So here I want to contest the A cap, but I'm a little bit worried about the division over there. There's a Murmansk, an Ochotnik, and I believe a Texas. I shot torps toward the corner of that island because that's kind of where I suspect the Ochotnik is hanging out. But I don't want to push the cap until I know exactly where he is. You can see that all the people on their side are going toward that island, so I think strategically those are good random torps. I want to let maybe the Izyaslav do some spotting here. I think the Ochotnik's detection is actually pretty low. Once again, I put out some random torps there. These torps are not really meant to hit anything. They're meant to distract and maybe hit something. The reload is extremely fast as far as Tier 4 torp ships go. I think you can get things off every 40 seconds, maybe. Again, I see there's the Ochotnik. And since the Ochotnik is not being aggressive, I think I can start moving towards the cap. Again, the torps are really meant to herd the enemy ships away from the cap. Now there's no one in the cap and I can go towards it. The concealment of this ship with full concealment is 5.5, which I believe is really good. The torp range is 7, so you have a 1.5k stealth torping buffer, and I believe that might be higher than ships like the Kamikaze or the Minakaze or those sisters. Those torps were aimed at the Texas. He seems to be moving in that general direction. I launched the torps even though he was 7.4 away because he's coming closer to where the torps would be. Slowing down here because I just want to stay out of detection and in the cap.
Smoke generator started. Engine boost deactivated.
It wasn't necessary for me to smoke quite that early, but I saw that the Texas was going to eat these torps. You saw that the Texas flooded. I want to get DoT damage now that he presumably had to repair, but you're going to see that RNG is not going to be on my side. But basically this is pretty standard torpedo destroyer gameplay in my opinion. You put out the torps, you cause a flood, you make them repair, and then you light a fire. And then you do DoT damage, basically. As you can see, the German smoke is extremely short-lived. I think it's less than a minute, really. The Texas is burning nicely, so there's no reason for me to keep firing at him. I'm going to go look for another target now.
Torpedoes to starboard.
The Myogi looks like he wants to move. See, here is an opportunity where you can use the forward torps, but you have to be in motion. If you wanted to kind of wait somewhere and wait for someone to make a decision or wait for them to come towards you, it's very difficult to get that front torp off. But the Myogi looks like he's committed to a straight line now, and hopefully those torps will be on target. There's the Ochotnik. I was a little bit surprised that he showed up there, and so I don't really want to stay within his detection range for too long. The Myogi does take a torp, but I have quite some time before the smoke comes back, so I can't quite try to start a fire yet. I don't want to start firing until I can get into smoke cover. It's probably safe for me to start shooting at this point since there aren't too many people nearby. But again, at least in the situation we're in, I think being cautious is better since we are up in points and we do have a lot of the caps. So now that I've got my smoke back, I'm going to put some shots at the Myogi. RNGesus really blessed me this time, although he's gone a little bit since he used repair, so he should have it back up soon, especially if he used premium consumables. But that's a second fire. The torps I sent were aimed at the Duke, probably, since I thought the Myogi was going to burn down. I started shooting at the Duke before my torps hit, since I had the smoke. He does take a flood, so I'm going to try to get my fire before the smoke runs out, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Engine boost activated.
I shot those torps ahead of the indicator because it looked like the Duke was turning away. This time, since there was only the Duke who could engage me, I kept shooting at him even though the smoke had dissipated. I also know that the Duke's turrets turn very slowly, so if I look at the Duke and I see that his turrets are facing away, it's fairly safe to shoot at him. It'll take him a while to get either his ship or those turrets around, and I'm heading for the cover of this island as well. And there goes the Duke as well. So now you can see these battleships coming up from the south. We pretty much have the game in the bag here. Since the Orion Comrade Yurgi is moving away, I'm going to try to torp the Orion who's coming up behind him. He does have planes which can spot the torp, but again, a lot of these low-tier battleships are not that maneuverable, even if they see the torps. They may not be able to dodge them. I got a little bit close to this guy, 5.5, but luckily I wasn't detected. The Orion does slow down, so he may have
Deactivated.
suspected or seen the torps with his plane. I slowed down to use my smoke, but the game runs out of time.